Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I am Judith. Today we are making gardener's chicken. It's a wonderful chicken casserole. First off, we are rendering the fat from 3 slices of bacon. And then we are going to cook some vegetables and brown our chicken before we put them in the casserole. So once this has got the fat rendered out, we'll be back with the vegetables. Alright, we've got the fat rendered out of the bacon. So now we're going to add 1 thinly sliced onion, 3 roughly chopped stalks of celery, and about 5 or 6 mushrooms, coarsely chopped. So mushrooms will soak up a lot of the fat. You may need to add more to get it to saute properly. And yeah, the bottom of the pan is already pretty much dry. So keep an eye on it. You want to get some color in these. And then we're going to put them in the bottom of the casserole, a little bed for our chicken. But we do want enough oil in the pan to brown the chicken. So we're going to add some more oil, just to make up for what's not there in the bacon. Or you could add butter. Alright, now that the vegetables have had time to soften, we want to try and save as much of the fat in the pan as we can. We'll push them to the side. This is always a tricky bit for me. Try to drain all the oil and the bacon fat off. I'm using a slotted spoon. We're going to remove the vegetables into our casserole, trying to preserve as much of the fat in the pan as we can. Since I did have it at a very low temperature, we are going to turn it up a couple of notches and let it heat. Now that the grease is warmed up, we are going to brown our chicken. And I have here 7 chicken thighs, 4 of them bone in and skin on, and 3 boneless and skinless, which I realized have been in the freezer a little too long, so I'd better use them. And it doesn't really matter what bits of chicken you use. We're just going to brown these on both sides and continue until we're done with the whole plate of chicken. And we're going to put them in on top of a lovely bed of vegetables in the casserole. Alright, now that the chicken's all browned and on top of its lovely bed of vegetables, we are going to add a jar of canned tomatoes. Now, since I canned them whole, I am going to cut them up a little bit before I put them in. And the next bit is going to be 3 medium, smallish to medium sized, thin skinned white or yellow potatoes. Now if you're worried that there's not enough liquid in there, there will be, because the vegetables and the potatoes and even the chicken will release more liquid. And you can, squish the potatoes in between the chicken, which I'm just going to spread them out a bit more because we are now going to mixture of thyme, parsley, and rosemary. And you will want a bay leaf as well. I'll get that in there in a minute. But now we're going to do the purple top turnips. And just push them down in there. So you do want a good sized casserole pan. And even then, I usually put a tray underneath to prevent my oven getting all messed up by drippings. And get them down in there. Now, as you may have noticed, I don't use much salt. I rarely add salt when I cook. But if you're a salt lover, yes, salt is permissible when you put in the tomatoes. Then we're going to cover it with a lid. And we're going to put it in the oven for about an hour at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, it's been in the oven for an hour. We are going to check to see if the potatoes are soft. Just give them a little poke with a fork. Oh yeah, they're doing fine. That's wonderful. So our casserole is done. You can let it cool on the stove top. I just leave it sit there in the casserole because right now it is still boiling. You don't want to serve it that hot. Well, thank you for watching. This was Gardener's Chicken. It turns out so wonderful. It's such an easy dish to make. I love it, and it's great for a family dinner. You don't even have to add anything. It is just perfect as it is, but a salad goes nicely. If you liked the video, subscribe, drop a like, make a comment. They all help me on my journey to become a YouTube person. Thank you so much. I love you all, and we'll see you again soon.